Hello, everybody. What a freaking glorious day. Cleveland Indians have defeated the New York Yankees. Wow, what was it, 7-5? Extra innings. We had the game won. We're already thinking, all right, it's 2-1. We went down 0-2. At least it's 2-1. Now we got a chance to come back. Okay, can we go 2-2 tomorrow? Okay, geez, if we go 2-2 tomorrow, maybe we could take the third game at home, and then we're going back to New York, and we're going to be up 3-2, and we just have to win one game in the Bronx to advance to the World Series for the first time since 2016. So that's where our heads are at right up until I was going to say Clase comes in, but of course it was the walk prior to that from Gaddis that led to that situation. So it's who do you blame? And so you're thinking, man, this Matthew Boyd, like he gave us a good, strong 5+ innings, 1 run. You will take that in the playoffs, but then you just kind of go, well, I know we have the best bullpen, but if you got an ace that's dealing, and I'm calling him an ace because let's face it, we don't have an ace. Our ace is gone. Shane Bieber has been gone all year. We had Tristan McKenzie coming up through the system. We're like, oh, this might be the next guy, the next ace, because it's always either a Cliff Lee or a CC Sabathia or a Corey Kluber. There's somebody in the chain coming up. We're like, oh, maybe this Tristan McKenzie is supposed to be the guy. Well, I don't think we can say that. I do not think we are in any position. I mean, look, he's not on the roster and he's been injured. And so when I call Matthew Boyd our ace, I mean, just look at our staff. Who is our ace? Who is our lights out person? I don't know the answer to that. I actually don't think there is an answer to that. Because our ace has to be whoever is taking the mound. You're not expected to come in and fill the number 5 slot. You're expected to come in and be the number 1 for today. And that's what we got yesterday. But the question is, did we get rid of him too quick? Now, look, these are wonderful things to get into on a day like today. Okay, we're streaming live in the Strictly Guardians group, trying to get these things figured out. Maybe I can get it in one more group here, because Facebook does not like us broadcasting our shows. But look, I like nitpicking aspects like this after a win. Oh, don't get me nitpicking after a loss. And I went from being in the mindset of, okay, 2-0 just became 2-1. Let's just wrap up this game. We're on cruise control. Let's just get through this. And then it's on to game 4. All right, we got a chance to tie it up then after tomorrow. I had already allowed myself to think that I got this. And then what happens? Aaron Judge, Giancarlo Stanton, they rock Emmanuel Clase. Emmanuel Clase, who is in the running for Cy Young. Now, maybe everybody gave it to Scooble. But look, Scooble's human. Ask David Fry. Oh, you can ask David Fry, the all-star David Fry. Why don't you ask David Fry? We'll get to David Fry. I'm sorry. I'm doing another show coming up at 11 o'clock, the Strictly Football Show with Mike Barra. I believe we've rescheduled it for a half hour from now. This is all kind of last minute. I'm trying to work this in. I should have had all of the Facebook live streams in action prior. Okay, but I think we're back. So this game yesterday was in the bag. We had it. It was under control. As much as any game could be, of course. And then it wasn't. That eighth inning got weird when the Yankees put 3 runs on the board. Let me pull up the screen just so we can have the stats here. Okay, I think we're sharing the screen now. Here, let me spin those around. Okay, there we go. By the way, leave your comments, hit like, hit subscribe, the New American Media and the Agree to Disagree show. That's the other one, or the Strictly Football show. But this one is the Unhappy Hour, the Unhappy Hour _ on X. And find us on Facebook, please. That eighth inning got strange with the 2 home runs. But here we're doing stuff now that we don't normally do. Remember Charles Nagy coming out of the bullpen? Lost the game on that. You know, it's all hands on deck. I totally get what's going on in that situation. But do we absolutely need Clase to be asked to do more than he has been doing? Is that something that we should really be asking of him? I mean, he made it 1/10 of an or a third of an inning yesterday. He's got a 9.0 ERA. Like, the playoff Clase is not what you would expect. But he is being asked to do things that he doesn't normally do. So that's kind of why I'm wondering if Matthew Boyd, our ace, should have been allowed to pitch a little deeper. 2-2, 2.72 ERA. You know, look, he's a comeback story. Cleveland is a chance to kind of rebound and get your life together and bounce over. It's a lily pad. It's a springboard. You know, that's why this team is so different, being anchored by someone like Jose Ramirez, someone who is perpetually, and I mean this with everything inside me, he's a perpetual league-wide MVP candidate every year he plays. He finishes top 5, top 10 every year. Maybe one of these years he'll actually get one. I mean, he was, you know, they had that canceled game. He could have been a 40-40-40 guy. Was it 40 home runs, 40 doubles, and 40 steals? I mean, the guy's really good. He's been struggling in this postseason, but that's a slightly different topic. But this guy could have got a bunch of money and a much bigger contract. And I believe the quote was something like, yeah, I could have made $50 or $80 million somewhere else, but I would have been somewhere else. I don't want to be somewhere else. I want to be here. How cool is that? What kind of vibe is that? What isn't that the exact type of thing you're looking for as a fan? You want somebody that's going to want you back. I mean, we've seen a combination of frustration. You know, I got friends that are like, why is there no salary cap? There needs to be a salary cap in baseball. The Yankees end up being one of the only 4 major league teams, and the rest of us, we're farm teams. They pick our best of the best. It's like how Louisville Slugger, there's a silver slugger and then a platinum slugger or something like that, or a gold slugger, silver, platinum slugger. Out of all the best fielding players who get silver sluggers, the best of the best that year gets a platinum slugger. And the Yankees and the Dodgers and the Mets, the other teams that we're going up against, their valuation is 4 times. They're nearly $8 billion franchises. We're maybe $1.50. And it's frustrating. You know, wouldn't it be nice if we all had a rough idea of spending balance so that the Yankees and the Dodgers couldn't sign the biggest names every stinking year? Every year. And it gets old. It gets really old, especially being a small market team. And so games like yesterday, where we have it in control and the bully steps out from behind the bushes with the big stick and they jam that baseball bat into the spokes of the Cleveland Guardians, and we go tumbling in the 8th inning. Home run Judge. Home run Stanton. Holy crap. 3 runs just went on the board. 3 runs. That game, I'm telling you, was on cruise control. We were up 3-1. Just, and all of a sudden we're trailing. All of a sudden we're trailing. Yankees get 8 runs in the third. They get 1 in the ninth. But Cleveland gets 2 in the ninth. Let me pull up the play-by-play here. Get you to the, where's the ninth? There we go. Yeah, Rizzo makes the error at first, letting Jose get on base. Unfortunately, Naylor, who isn't even running out his plays, we got to have a serious conversation about Naylor. Man, I have like a frog in my throat. I apologize, folks. And I think I'm out of... maybe I would like to get a sponsorship from a throat lozenge company. That'd be cool. I think I'm going to do that. For now, I'm doing a ginger chew. So, Ramirez, safe at first, but then Naylor grounds into a double play. We started off the ninth like, all right, we got a shot. And Naylor, he really needs to focus on some plate discipline and hustle. Focus on focus. But anyway, after that, we're down to our last out. And Lane freaking Thomas misses a home run by like that much. Then John Kinsey Noel. Jonky Kong. Big Christmas. He's so new, like we're trying to figure out which nickname works. I mean, everyone's settled on Big Christmas. I'm like, I don't know that it's the best we can do. I think it was the knee-jerk reaction to not be Jonky Kong, honestly. It's okay. I like Big Christmas. I don't love Big Christmas as the nickname. But I'd like to hear some more nicknames. Like how I will continue calling this team the Tribe. That's a nickname. They're the Yanks, the damn Yankees. The Skankies. I don't know, whatever you want to call them. But Lane Thomas, who's been incredible for us this season, doubles to center. He's sitting there on base, and John Kinsey Noel comes up. His dad comes to the United States to see him play for the first time in this environment. Hold on a second. Hold on. Let me just close your eyes, unless you're driving. All right. If you're driving, ask the person next to you to hold the wheel and close your eyes. I'm just kidding. Don't do that. Although that is what David Fry, I'll get to Fry in a second. David Fry said, I forget what his quote was exactly, but he says, I don't even know what happened. I gave it to God, and I don't even know what happened on that play, on that home run. Like he channeled the moment and asked for that strength and focus and dexterity, and he gave it. All right, look, let me ask you to put yourself in the shoes of someone like John Kinsey Noel's father, who gets to, I believe the story is he's in the United States for the first time. Hang on, let me find the story. Because what I'm, Big Christmas father. All right, well, the story is heading into October, John Kinsey Noel was excited that his dad, Rafael, was going to make his first trip to the United States to be able to watch him play in person. Noel joked that he doesn't always like to talk to his dad about baseball. He'll say things like, why'd you leave that pitch middle? Noel said, laughing. Sometimes I tell him, hey, go hit yourself. But this was going to be special. This is going to be the first time Rafael met Big Christmas. the Major League Baseball version of his son that all of Cleveland has gotten to know this season. The man that created tremendous excitement by hitting a homer in his first big league at bat. Actually, how do I get this to start again? I want to play this clip later. We'll show you what Noel did. Can I go back? Good. This is the moment. Come on. This, and I love seeing all the Chief Wahoo gear, by the way. Keep that team. Look at this environment. Look at this environment and imagine the first time ever seeing your kid play. It's this. Look at the power in the swing. Ah, come on. Look at the power in this swing. This is Albert Pelly and Jim Tomian. Ah, come on. I can watch this a million times, and I have. And he looks straight down. I can't pause this. If I could pause this, it'd be so much more effective. He looks down. He doesn't even watch it go. Okay, imagine if this is the first time that your dad gets to see you play. This is pandemonium. They were down to their last out. Cleveland was down to the last out. This was over. The energy was sucked out of my life. If you were watching, I'm like, oh my God. Oh, I can't believe we just. Oh, and then the second home run. I think this series is over. I think the Indians just blew this. I think it's over. I think the Yankees just beat us. I think we just shot ourselves in the foot. Huh. That's how I was thinking. I was feeling very dejected after we lost this lead. And then this. Rarely do you hear national broadcasters. I heard it 3 times. I'm sorry, I don't know the names of the guys, but the first guy said it, then the second guy said it, then the third guy said it, more of it. It's almost like a world star video. These are professional sportscasters, and they're acting like it's world star. Whoa, oh, they're cheering along with everybody else. When does a national person ever cheer for Cleveland? Normally, you'll get Tim McCarver go, no, that's why they call it the mistake by the lake. It's called the mistake by the lake for a reason. That's what we normally get in Cleveland. It's normally cheering against us. But it wasn't cheering against us on this night. These announcers went bonkers like a bunch of kids. Come on. It's such a stupid thing to say. It's an obvious thing to say. I totally get it. Yeah, I'm not going to roast them too much for that. Oh, here's a field view. I'm here for it. How do I start it from scratch? Okay, I'll watch the field view of John Kenzie. Okay, Rafael got a taste of what it was like to see his son as a big leaguer during the first 7 playoff games, but nothing. Okay, so this wasn't his first game. All right. What is that jump about? The jump punch. It's like a Mario thing? Ah! Has this stadium Oh no. Has this stadium ever been this loud? Now, I know they lost seats during the renovation, so we're 35,000 compared to 42,000. But, oh, wait, where's the sound? Oh, doggone it. Hang on. There we go.
This is October baseball, people. This is October baseball. This has got to be one of the coolest Cleveland sporting events to have attended ever. But it's not over at this point. That's the thing we've got to remember.
The game's not over at that point. Oh, no. Oh, I don't think that screen was sharing. Oh, doggone it. So if you're watching this, you have no idea. You were just hearing the audio version. There actually was a different version that went through the Facebook streams. Thank you for watching. Thank you for joining on the streams. Question of the day. Where does this rank on the top Cleveland sporting fan moments? And what are a couple of other ones that jump to mind? Like the most awesome things to be at. Maybe the Cleveland Cavs parade. That should be a top 5. Just a Cleveland sports moment. There were big Cavalier games. Big Cavalier games. And big Tribe games too. But anyway, we can break down the components of this game. Oh, I think we should listen to Hamilton though. Okay, let's do Big Christmas Hamilton. Because you need to hear the best voice in all of baseball. Here, let me share this tab instead. Okay, I think we did get that fixed. Let's full screen this. Tom Hamilton, God's gift to broadcasting. We are so lucky to have him announcing so many Cleveland games for so long. Here he is, Tom Hamilton. Cleveland trails 3-5 on a 1-0 count. Bottom of the 9th, 2 outs with a runner on second.
Oh my
God! Wait a minute. That's the same one I just listened to. That's supposed to be Tom Hamilton. Oh, got it. There, here's Tom freaking Hamilton. We're going to trust this is the right clip. This is what happens when you got produced. There's Tom Hamilton, but of course, let's do Tom Hamilton again. David Fry. There's a lot of components we can take. Jimenez, great defensive play. Naylor dragging his foot across the bag, even though I didn't like his hustle in some ways. I loved that stretch. That kept the game where it needed to be. Let's just skip right to the end here. Game's top. Oh, wait, this is Noel. I put David Fry in. Okay, this is supposed to be it. It's weird when you type for something very specifically and the top thing they show you is not the thing. That's a little frustrating. In an age of AI, Elon, fix that.
Swung on, hit high, hit deep to left. There she goes.
Let me do a better job setting this up. It's 5-5, runner on third, bottom of the 10th, 2 outs, a 1-2 count. Holmes pitching to Fry. Fans are on the edge of their seats. They're all standing up. They're covering their eyes. They can hardly watch. The pressure of October baseball is unlike anything in sports. Every play, every single pitch is absolutely crucial. You can get you can get away with a lot of things on a football field when there's 11 people or 10 people. 11th man, 12th man, 11 people. Yes. Right that up. You can get beat as a safety. That doesn't mean the quarterback's going to see you, have time to throw it to you, not throw it to someone else. Everything starts with the pitcher and ends with the catcher, with the hitter in between. Every single interaction when that ball is fired, it's just a mini microcosm. Every moment is the most important moment. Just how earlier I said, who's our ace? The Cleveland Indians ace is whoever happens to be on the mound. Whoever Cleveland puts on that mound is the ace because they have to be. And the pressure of this 5-5 tie. New York already leading 2-0. Bottom of the 10th, runner on third. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Here's the pitch. Holmes to David freaking Fry, who saved our season against the Motor City Kitties last time. Here we go. Listen to it all night long. All night long. All night. What a game. We don't have time to celebrate or nitpick too much. I don't have too much time because I'm going to do a strictly football show with Mike Barra. You might have seen him on Ancient Aliens or doing his tours, his lecture circuits, all sorts of stuff. I've guested on his Toxically Masculine Tuesday show several times in the past year or so with Blake Wally, who joins me on the Agree to Disagree show. So join us on that. But yeah, I got to wrap in 8 minutes, 7 minutes. We're going to go live with strictly football. We're going to break down what we saw last week, and we're going to kind of make our picks for this week and, you know, work in some gambling stuff. Mike's living out in Vegas. I'm going to work in the fantasy football angle of players to start and who's injured and who's doing what. But it's just a chance to get together and talk football. Yesterday, I recorded Strictly Browns, and you can check that show out. A lot happened with Nick Chubb coming back. I read the whole Nick Chubb letter in the Players Tribune, and it was very good. It was moving, it was touching, and it was powerful, and it was, you know, stare in the mirror and tell yourself that you believe in yourself until you believe it. Something along those lines. Love that message. Love that man, Nick Chubb. And he means the world to Cleveland. I mean, it's really unfortunate Baker Mayfield isn't still here. A healthy Baker Mayfield who was drafted here, who unlocked the Bud Light fridges, who took us to the playoffs by beating Pittsburgh, then beat Pittsburgh in the playoffs. That guy deserved another year. Not this Watson guy. Not trading away 3 first-round picks, a 5th, a 3rd, whatever the heck we gave up. I feel like we've been in purgatory for 2.5 years with this Watson thing. That led to us having Jacoby Brissett take us nowhere for half a season. Then Watson came back looking like he didn't even look at the playbook for a season. Then a couple games of okay last year, and then he's injured, which led to Joe Flacco taking us to playoffs where our coaching was exposed. But then you don't bring Flacco back, and we're still back to Watson, and he's the worst quarterback in the league by far. So I wish someone like Baker Mayfield could have been the guy who came up through the system and took us deep into the playoffs consistently like Jose Ramirez has been. Now, maybe not as consistently. More like how LeBron James always had us, not just in the playoffs, in the freaking finals. Taking inferior teams to the finals. Because he is that good. And we're fortunate to have had that. But yeah, on the Strictly Football show, I covered Amari Cooper. How, interestingly enough, as bad as Watson's been, I mean, Cooper's head has not been in it since he was requesting his trade. And he's gone now. Addition by subtraction, perhaps. Weird to think about that since he's the only Browns receiver in team history to have back-to-back 1,000-plus yard receiving seasons. That sounds insane. I think that's an actual stat. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I think that's an actual stat. Back-to-back 1,200-yard seasons, and maybe his 2 best seasons as a pro, and then he can't catch anything. I saw a comment that said, if Amari makes 2 catches, this Browns team will be 3-3, not 1-5. And you're like, ooh. So I think as much as we've given Watson grief, Cooper's been very complicit, very guilty of things that have cost us victories on this season. And Watson's not the first gone. Amari Cooper is. So we covered that. And we covered our chances against the Bengals. I think we have a chance. I think our team is too talented to be this bad. And we traditionally play the Bengals well, and we're at home. I think we're going to put in our first impressive game of the year together, and we're going to get a win. I don't know if that's true or not, but we shall see. Anyway, check that show out. Subscribe, like the show, the Unhappy Hour on the New American Media. Where's the best way? Facebook. Oh, let me show you this too. Yeah, Facebook, we have a private group. The Agree to Disagree, the Unhappy Hour Sports Show. Sorry, I do too many things. These are Ohio-made wooden coasters. Burned, laser burned. It's not stuff that'll rub off. That's like actual wood. Sets of coasters. If you Venmo me $30, I'll mail one to you. It includes shipping. If you Venmo me $50 as a gift, I will send both of these to you, shipping included. And you Venmo me by spelling my name, BrianEngelman. Pretty straightforward. And if you Venmo me a gift of $25, you'll get this limited edition as long as they last. There's only 100 of these that will ever be made. Future versions will be, just say the unhappy hour. They won't say sports show. So these will forever be collector items. Venmo me $25. This will be yours. Shipping included. But yeah, $75 is where it's at. Get 2 sets of these wooden coasters. One shaped like the state of Ohio. And one is the beer mug shaped in the circle. And then the pin, the collector's pin. Something to collect. Hold on to. Put in your man cave somewhere. To remind you that even people like Brian, who go from Ohio to California to Kentucky, you know, you never really leave your fandom, do you? And we're all part of a fraternity here. And victories like this, it's not just about sports. It's about the morale of a community, a people with shared experiences. And then as we enter an election season, it helps you remember what's important and what does community mean, and what are the people in charge doing to that community. And I say that because I covered all 3 of the presidential primaries, 3 of their conventions, the Libertarian Convention in Washington, D.C., the Democrat Convention in Chicago, and the Republican Convention in Milwaukee for the Agree to Disagree show. And you know what I found? The people who reside where the Yankees play in the Bronx the day that Donald Trump was there, on my way to Washington, D.C., they can't stand what they've done. They, the Democrats, have done to their community. And I normally keep those shows very separate, but I was in the Bronx and they were yelling to me about all these people getting resources, millions of dollars, unlimited gift cards, staying in fancy hotels, committing crimes all across their city. A friend got attacked on a subway, and the people don't care about them, the people that live there. And the shared experiences of what a community actually is, not just dumping a whole bunch of people that are not from an area into that area. So choose wisely, because sports is about the community, the tribe, the group of people that come together. And a moment like last night at Progressive Field might be one of the best ever, right? It might be one of the best moments ever in Cleveland sports history. And that builds your community. It bonds you together for generations. So enjoy this one, Cleveland. You earned it. Congratulations. Pat yourself on the back. Listen to that Tom Hamilton call a couple more times, and then get ready. Game time, 8 o'clock something tonight. Go Tribe. Aiming to tie it up at 2-2. All right, I'm going to leave and come back with Strictly Football. Talk to you in a few.